Okay, guys, it's hot, and I have a few minutes, and so I wanted to come on here and break down for you. By the way, if you're new to me in my world, my name is Dr. Stephanie Pierre. I am the creative mastermind of the Star Disco brand, which is all about you stepping into your highest level of self-expression, your erotic, passionate, creative self, and your feminine artistry. And we do this through harnessing and aligning with the cycle of the cosmos, with the cycles of nature via astrology, alchemy, and magic. Okay? So, all right. So what I talk about in my world quite frequently is about decision making. Okay? And if you don't have what it is that you want, it's because you haven't decided, okay? You don't really want it. Now, this is something that if you don't know what I'm talking about, meaning where you're not quite sure how to decide, or how this ability to be turned on, or how to turn on, or where you're in that place where you're motherfucking going for it, right? Like, it's on like Donkey Kong. It's game time. So anytime that you've ever gotten anything that you want, it's because on some level you decided. You decided that you wanted it, and so you went for it, okay? So, but I want to break this down because this is something that I feel potentially can be misunderstood. And because it's so important, it's so powerful, it's such a powerful tool, it's such a powerful place to be in and to have access to as a human being, where for me, I mean, this is about what it means to be alive. This is for me to be turned on and to be connected with that part of me that allows me to be invincible, that allows me to feel my EROS, what another term, is the yang energy, the spiritual energy inside of you rising up, okay? So, but this is very misunderstood, and what can potentially happen, and what I've experienced, clients, and I've witnessed this in other people, where they potentially get angry. They're like, what do you mean I don't want it? Like, of course I want it. So you're saying that if I don't yet have what it is that I want, it's because I don't want it. And then you'll be like, or they'll be, like, what do you mean I don't want it? Of course I want it. Like, how can you say that I don't want it? I'm telling you that I want it. Okay. So let me demystify this for you right here, right now. Okay. So this is the subject, what we're talking about. It's your ability to decide, which means to cut out all other options. Okay. To make a decision is actually a masculine function. Okay. It comes from the yang energy, and it's wielding the sword, what I call wielding the sword of truth, where you are cutting out all other options. Okay. So, if there's something that, and I'm doing this in air quotes because it's subtle, guys. It's so fucking subtle. And if more people knew how to do this, more people would actually have in possession what it is that they actually want in their life, as opposed to it being this idea or this fantasy or this, I hope one day I'll get there, or I hope one day I'll have it, okay? Is that if there's this thing that you say that you want, and you're not experiencing this feeling of wild horses couldn't stop you. You're on the path, you're on the journey. It's like it's already done, in fact. In fact, when you decide, there's a feeling inside of you of it's already done. It's already done. And I'm going to get to that in a moment. But let me come back to is When I'm saying that you don't really want it, what I really mean by that is that there's a part of you that actually still doesn't want it. Okay? It's the subconscious part of you. It's the part of you that you don't even realize is actually running your show. And in astrological terms, this is your moon. Okay? It's your moon. It's the realm of your subconscious, meaning that there's a 70% part of you, in fact, that actually doesn't want this thing that you might consciously think that you want, or in your mind you think that you want, you say that you want, but there's another part of you that doesn't want it. And it's because that other part of you isn't willing to either get uncomfortable or deal with the fact that it's going to lead you into territory that is not known. So it actually poses a threat to the limbic system of your brain, to the part of your brain that wants to be in control and keep you in the status quo, because in the known territory, it knows how to operate. It knows what to do. It's familiar. But once you step outside of that known territory, now to your brain, you're not safe. So to that part of you, you don't want it. You don't want it. And so when you're in this place where you're like, and so another way that this can show up is you might be like in love making. And in love making, right, it's like you feel like you're turned on and you're like, I want this. Like I know that I really love this man, but I don't feel open. Because once you get turned on, you're open. You know, because you're either on or you're off. Fire, the highest expression of masculine energy, elementally, fire, the spirit, which belongs to the spiritual realm. Okay, fire rises, right? Fire is either on or it's off. You're either on or you're off. There is no in between, lukewarm. And so when you say that you want something, and maybe you're in this lukewarm place where you're kind of like, but what about this? And what about that? And I don't have this, and and you're not actually moving in alignment with that feeling of wild fucking horses couldn't stop me. It's fucking done. So another way of when you're in this place of you've decided, you're just naturally doing all of the things. You're naturally doing all of the things that's going to lead to the progression of that thing becoming real and you having it and you holding it within your possession. Like it's real. It's like, I fucking have this, okay? You're naturally already doing the things. And a lot of the times, the reason that this is going to happen is because when you're turned on, when EROS is operating, you really just don't give a fuck anymore. You don't give a fuck about what other people think. You don't give a fuck about the consequences, if there are any. It's like that aspect of you, the subconscious part of you that wants to keep you safe and known and in the familiar, is in submission. It has surrendered. You've surrendered to divine will taking over, and it's this feeling of being led. It's like the heart is leading you. So you're being pulled by something that's bigger than you, in fact. In fact, it's something that is about something so much more than you. And that's the big thing that I really want to stress, and help me, Jesus, if I could get this, to express this clearly and efficiently and effectively for you guys, is when you're in that place and it feels impossible. It feels like, to the logical part of your brain, you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Like, it doesn't make sense. Logically, I can't even see how I could do this. And that's because you're not connected to the part of you that it has access to unlimited resources and unlimited data and unlimited information, the quantum field, okay? Source energy, God energy. You're not connected to that part of you. So of course you're down here and you're just like, I don't even have access to that Godhead. I don't have access to that vision. You know, there's a disconnect happening. And so when you've turned on, it's this feeling of you're feeling so fucking turned on and so alive that you're gonna get to this point of where it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter whether you get what you want or not, because you already got what you came for. Okay? You've already gotten what you came for, because what you really want, everything that we want, every single thing that you want because of the way you think it's going to make you feel when you have it. Okay? Because it's the light that you want. Okay? So when you get to this place of where you're just like, oh my God, like I've already got it. Like it doesn't even become like it's because it's not about what you're getting. It's about who you become. It's about it's the person that you become that allows you to have it. So many reasons why when you're like, why, if you feel like it's difficult to receive, if you feel like it's difficult to have what it is that you want because you don't feel connected to it, it's because you're not the kind of person yet that can receive it. If you don't have what you want and it feels hard to have what it is that you want and to go after what it is that you want, it's because you are not yet the kind of person who it's easy to receive it. Okay? This lighting is insane. Okay, so, but it is what it is. So that's the message. So when I tell you, if you really wanted it, you don't, when I'm saying you don't really want it, that's really what I'm meaning. I'm saying that there's still a part of you, 70% part of you, that actually still doesn't want it. Because it feels like a risk to the part of you that wants to be in control, that wants circumstances to be perfect, that isn't willing to get uncomfortable. You're not willing to sacrifice. You're not willing to lose. You're not willing to look like a fool. You're not willing to get judged. You're not willing to get uncomfortable. All of these reasons, there's all of these reasons that are actually 70% more important to you than you surrendering, than you letting go of control and you just motherfucking going for it. And so we have to be willing to be really honest with ourselves, because the truth is there's nothing wrong with acknowledging, like, I actually just don't really want that thing. Like, and I don't really want it. And if you want to change that, so here's what you need to do. If you're in this position where you're like, I want this thing, or I think I want this thing, but I'm not moving in the direction of it, I'm still more identified with limitation. I'm more identified with all of the reasons why I can't have it. I'm more identified with the part of me that feels separate from it, X, Y, and Z, okay? But I want it. Like, I know that I want it. I don't understand why I'm not turned on. I don't understand why I haven't said yes. I don't understand why I haven't committed, why I haven't put a motherfucking ring on it. You have to, this is what you need to do, okay? Are you ready? Because this is fucking gold. When you do this, your brain is, okay, so you know how AI is now, like, AI is the thing, right? AI, it's a massive supercomputer, right? Is AI, the better that AI works is, it's the kinds of questions that you ask it. You have to be able to give it the right prompts. If you're not giving it the right prompts, it's going to spew out garbage. It's going to spew out stuff that you don't actually want, okay? You have to ask it the right questions. So you need to ask your brain the right questions. So when you're in this position, you have to ask yourself, why don't I want it? I'm choosing to know, I'm choosing to see, show me why I don't really want it. Show me why I don't want this thing that I say that I want. I really want to know. I'm choosing to see, I'm choosing to turn the light on. I'm choosing to see, right? Because this is the subconscious part of you that still is blind, that still isn't seeing the truth. I'm choosing to see the part of me that still doesn't want it. Make it easy for me. Drop it in my lap. And then you have to do that work. You have to get available, you have to create the time, and you have to create the space to prioritize it like you fucking mean it, and create the space to start seeing it. And I guarantee that if you do that if you tell your brain that, your brain is going to go and find the information. Your brain is going to somehow show it to you, whether it's through something that drops in your lap, whether it's through like a message that comes through, whether it's something that you get this like insight of like, I understand now. It's because, this and this and that. And then what you have to do is you have to ask, is it worth me losing? Or said another way is, can I afford not to? Because that's really, when it comes, decision is about it's a judgment call. Decision is always about a judgment call. So when you're like, I can't, you got to ask yourself, it's a weighing thing. It's a weighing thing, right? You're like, I really want this thing, but my subconscious actually wants this. So the thing with the subconscious is remember how I said it's a feeling. Your subconscious wants to feel safe. When you boil it all down, it's the feminine part of you that, needs to feel safe before she's opened and penetrated, okay? Think lovemaking, right? Like a woman's not going to open up to you until she feels safe. You can try to fucking penetrate her all you want, she's going to be closed and dry, okay? It's not really that pleasurable. You can still do it, you can still get pregnant, but the pleasure isn't going to be there, and it's going to be harder. It's going to feel harder. It's going to feel like more work. Okay, it's a very masculine way of getting things done. It's a very willful way of getting things done. It can work, maybe not all of the time. That's a whole other conversation for another day. But if you want to be turned on, if you want to experience love happening inside of you, if you want to experience the erotic, creative life force moving through you where you feel like invincible and erotic, and you feel like connected to something that's so much bigger and greater than you, you can give yourself a feeling. So let's say you don't feel safe. Safety is something that you can give yourself. I choose to feel safe. You can give yourself that feeling. It might be hard. You might have to work at it, but you can choose to give yourself the feeling of safety. You can choose, because essentially what safety is about, it's about self-trust. It's about, do I trust myself or not? And so you have to start learning how to talk to yourself in these ways. You have to start learning to, like, if you acknowledge, like, I'm actually scared. I'm actually scared because I don't trust myself, because the last time that I did this, I fell on my face, or the last time that I did this, I was uncomfortable, or the last time that I did this, this bad thing happened. So now I don't trust myself. So you got to acknowledge that. You've got to go in there. You've got to heal it. You've got to face it. You've got to feel it. You've got to move it out, because it's taking up the space of where you've got emotional baggage. Okay.